Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Wave podcast, where we keep you up to date on the latest news, trends, and people that are making waves in crypto. I'm Jennifer from Space Coast Crypto Consulting, and joining me here today, I have my co-hosts Jesse and Joey. Please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe and click the bell notification so you can get notified whenever we put out new content.
Yeah,
how's everybody doing?
We are good, and Jesse, we got a promotion again. We're back to being co-hosts instead of sidekicks.
Or friends.
Yeah, we're out of the friend category now. We're back to co-hosts.
Out of the friend zone officially.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, co-host zone. It sounds a little bit more. How do you say? Remedial, more noble.
Yeah,
more regal.
I think so. I think we earned it.
I should have. I could have a badge or something, right?
We'll go get some ink later.
Yes.
Co-host. Like think 1 and 2 with those. No, you don't like that one.
Hey, listen, I'm happy today.
Good.
You're happy.
Please tell us why.
We're all happy.
Please elaborate.
The market is in the green today. Crypto is doing well all
double
around.
Digits.
Yeah.
Yep, we're having double digits of percentage of growth.
So why do you think the market's responding like this?
Well, there's lots of news this week, lots of things going on. We have infrastructure bill.
Yeah.
Ethereum had some big upgrades. Just lots of on-chain metrics showing that large institutions are moving in billions of dollars on-chain. So it's just we crossed our 200-day moving average in Bitcoin, and so everything is just responding positively.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's up at 46 currently.
It was 46
ish.
Because I was going to say, when we started these podcasts, it was around 30.
Yeah,
and we were joking about that, saying
we
were all joking that the meme we had read is if you did the 100, if you should put $100,000, buy now so that when it hits, you're going to regret not buying it at 30. Well, here it is at 46. That's a pretty good.
Pretty good. That's 50%.
Awesome.
Yeah, can't get that in. You can't get
anywhere.
that at Chase.
Yes.
No.
So Bitcoin is at $46,287. It's up 15% for the past 7 days. The market at a whole is approaching a $2 trillion market cap, and Bitcoin is at 44.98% dominant. So
44%.
Basically 45% is in Bitcoin and everything
and
else
that makes sense.
altcoins. Yeah.
And Ethereum went up too. That's
Ethereum.
Up to Ethereum.
Yes.
What'd I call it?
Erythium.
I keep thinking Arithmix. I don't know. Waiting for somebody to come out and sing.
Right.
You can call it Ether.
Ether? That's better. Why don't I do that?
Yeah.
I say that better. Ether.
So Ether has is up 17%.
That's over 3, right? Isn't that over 3 right now?
Yeah. 3,222.
That was in the low. That was in 1800 when we started.
Mm-hmm.
So we could calculate just from when we started 5-6 weeks ago to now.
Well, not for nothing. Let's just take credit where credit's due.
I think so.
Congratulations, guys. Yeah. We helped.
Increase. We're getting the word out there.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. We got to bring awareness to the crypto community. The more people that join the network, then
the more value.
The larger.
And I think that's happening too. Also, I think more and more people are becoming more and more aware of it. The local papers. I was visiting my parents back in New York. Newsday had a story on it over the weekend about crypto. So more and more as it goes into the daily paper, the news, people who are not normally, who still read papers like my parents, that they're reading it. You're seeing it more and more online. It's pops up on Yahoo all the time. I mean, it's popping up on my phone on all the alerts. So it's there. It's happening.
Well, let's be honest. It is mainstream.
Yep.
I think people are talking about it, having it even being considered to be in legislature.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When Congress, the Senate and the House and all these people are debating it. You have lobbyists, in Washington now. Supporting crypto and convincing lawmakers to react, either pass laws to protect it or don't pass laws to influence it, and so it's in the vernacular, it's mainstream. Let's just be honest, So
at this point, like you're saying, there's so much entrenchment within the government, so there are governments lobbying for it. So now there's a fight. Nobody can just say we're shutting this thing down, we're stopping this. There is people standing up for it, and that really came forth this week when we saw the U.S. infrastructure bill being brought to the Senate. So,
Right.
And how many minutes you think of debate regarding crypto was there? Because you mentioned that it was held up because of the crypto debate.
Yeah, it actually, the crypto, it was about a 3,000 page, I think, give or take.
2,700, I heard.
Okay, 2,700 page.
But give or take.
Bill of legislation that is written in,
Governmentese.
Yes. Government jibber jabber that nobody understands and nobody has time to read. And there was only a few paragraphs on cryptocurrency, and those few paragraphs, what were written in those paragraphs, were enough to cause enough of a rumble in the crypto community that brought together the lobbyists for the crypto community, and it actually held the bill up from moving forward. So the problem within the bill was that they're trying to broaden the definition of what a broker is. So a broker meaning anybody that transacts or helps to intermediate the transactions. So they wanted to broaden the definition of a broker to include people that are writing code or exchanges or like these DeFi platforms where you're staking, and basically where they don't have the means to provide private information to tax people. So they want to just be able to keep a record of everybody who's transacting. But being a miner, they would require you to provide financial information for your mining equipment, and also like staking. If you were to stake something, they want you to require information for staking as well.
Meaning they just want to be able to
Control.
tax you.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You know,
Another tax, another control.
If you're staking and you're getting 2% or whatever else, the terms are, well, we want a piece of it.
And, we're not trying to evade taxation, right? I mean, it's going to be regulated. We're going to have to pay taxes. I mean, most people know that and are, coming to terms with that. But to broaden the definition of what a broker is and to tax somebody for being a software code writer and saying, okay, you used my software, you made money on that software. Now the software provider is now in charge of providing financial information for whoever made money on those transactions. So that's just information that's unattainable and that evades people's privacy. It just wouldn't work. So what it does is it stifles innovation. It's going to put so many red tape and barriers through technology and innovation, where it's just going to drive technology out of this country.
And that's
what bureaucracy is great at.
That's what we do best.
Bureaucracy has killed so many industries, getting in the way of so much progress. It's the reason we don't have free energy. Nikola Tesla, he created ways for us to, and there's cures for cancer, there's cures for everything, but nobody can realize it because bureaucracy gets in the way. And again, if they can't tax you or make money off of it, then they're not going to allow it to be made available.
Well, that's true, and that's what Ted Cruz had said. Is half the people that were designing this amendment or this bill, that half of them couldn't even describe what cryptocurrency is. So why are you voting on something you have nothing know
education,
about? They know nothing about it.
They didn't read the bill, because who has time to read 3,000 pages and jibber jabber? And so Ted Cruz, he posted, he spoke out, and then he also posted on Twitter what the Senate said tonight. Let's tax the hell out of something that we know nothing about so we can pass a giant bill that we haven't read and spend the American people's money on stuff that we can't afford. It's reckless and harmful. So Ted Cruz did say it best.
And that is a great summary. 10% of this $1 trillion actually goes to bridges and roads,
right,
and what other public infrastructure, rails and everything else. 10% of $1 trillion. So that's 100 billion, but that's not enough. We have to go 900 billion over that.
Of course.
For fluff.
It's all fluff. So I believe
retarded.
they were asking for $20 million for. Actually, no, they were asking for $250 million for invasive plant removal in this infrastructure bill, and they listed the different types of like weeds and vines and stuff.
That's important.
also.
No, but how much? Because all of a sudden I have an
I wanna-
itch
Yeah.
to become a landscape.
Yeah.
You know,
Horticulturist.
horticulturist. Yeah, I mean,
And I know what kind of stuff you want to grow.
I mean,
but-
I got hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants that would love to go to work. I'll just give them clippers for $20 each.
50,
you know, $100 a
50
day. Let's eradicate it together. $200 million.
$50 million in research to study how they can tax roads.
Oh,
So
yes.
basically, how they could put more tolls.
Well, no, see, that's been going on
So
for
now
a while.
I've become
though.
an analyst.
Yes.
Hey, I'll do it for $1 million.
Yeah, right. I'll put a whole great team together. We'll get it done in 3 months.
Well, to go back with taxing the roads, what they were trying to do, along with that, as someone who spends their life in a car going visiting clients, they want to have a mileage tax.
Right.
They've done that in, I believe it was one of those far left states up there. What's that? Portland or
Well,
you know,
Oregon is
Oregon.
the
They-
state. Portland is the city.
Yeah. They did one of those. I don't
Right.
know. I'm not Rand McNally, but anyway.
Rand McNally for all those young guys.
It was
That's
a
a map
map
maker.
maker.
Yeah, you know the thing that you fold.
Oh, a map
and-
maker.
A
yes.
map maker.
Rand McNally.
Oh.
Rand
Yeah.
McNally maps?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Say over there. Should I say I'm a
Any-
That's why we have
I'm
to. We have to break down.
I know.
all of your references, Joey.
Sorry.
I need like a cheat sheet. Like
But they want to start charging mileage. So you know what that would do to the truck driver, the sales guy, the guy just going to work, especially some of these people live out in California. They drive for an hour,
well,
2 hours away.
they already tax the
It's
gas.
horrible. Yeah, you're already
So
being taxed.
there's already a built-in travel tax.
But they want to tax us more.
Of course they do.
It's just ridiculous.
Of course they want to tax us more. They got to pay for this $100 trillion fluff fund.
I feel sorry for the kids because, and they're just being indoctrinated to be.
Yeah, and
Just go along with it because it's for the earth.
But who's going to suffer from this? Like the bills that we pass now, it's like
Kids.
it's our kids and our kids'
Kids.
Exactly.
But infrastructure was always, to me, an airport, a bridge, a road. But now it's human infrastructure. It's human. It's the intent to do good. See, that's the
Human
bullshit of the whole
infrastructure.
thing. And that's
Right.
the part that people don't understand. It's all bullshit.
You're legislating feelings.
They're legislating
Just because you feel
feelings.
better
Yeah.
about what.
No, I don't. Leave me alone.
Exactly.
And these are people, the government. These are people that are supposed to be here to represent
These
our
people, they're only in government because they
well-being.
don't have a regular job. Most of them have no idea how to do what a payroll is, what it is to go out and work 9 to 5, get their hands dirty.
Well, they're all career politicians. They've never worked in private sector. They have no
They've
idea how to
clue.
run a business.
The guy who's running this country right now, don't get me started with him. He's been in government for 50 years. He has no clue. Couldn't run a lemonade stand,
No.
but his son can.
Well, his son's an artist,
He's a genius.
and it costs $500,000 for his painting.
I'm waiting for the son to design his own crypto coin,
Yeah.
the Biden coin.
Don't give them any ideas.
Oh, that's coming up.
I'm sure.
It'll be that's the Chinese coin that they're gonna
Yeah. Right.
make. And then there's others. Speaking of making coins, there's something else in the news too, isn't there? Don't we have a city designing a coin too?
Oh yeah,
Jennifer?
Miami coin. Yeah. So
That's new.
Yeah, you didn't read the show notes.
I'm the producer.
I
Yeah.
read the notes. Yeah, it was very interesting,
Oh,
but
good.
it's not a coin that they're going to use because cities can't create their own currency.
It's a novelty.
It's a novelty, but they could use it for other items. Again, for infrastructure. Actually, for infrastructure within Miami.
I mean, not for nothing. You walk into Disney World, and they also have
Mickey dollars.
They have little Mickey dollars and coins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Mickey bucks.
but it's literally only good. It's a novelty. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So the Miami coin has already netted nearly $1 million. So the mayor, Francis Suarez.
And I like the guy. I think he's a good mayor.
Yes. So he has been the number 1 advocate for cryptocurrency, and he wants to make Miami the tech hub of the U.S. And he calls so the current status of the new Miami coin cryptocurrency is from the creator Patrick Stanley, and I guess you can. When you purchase the coin, a portion of it goes towards Miami, so it's a way for
Yes.
them to collect taxes.
It's
I
like a
think.
municipal bond.
It really,
Yeah.
that's what it is, because they said they could use it for.
Yeah, and I think I think it's coming. I think I read that somewhere. Yeah, so it's just a clever way to market a bond.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Gets people involved, and it brings.
Oh, now it's all coming back.
Okay.
Because I did read it, and it's supposed to go back to like the port.
Yes.
and help with the port, and because they want to attract more cruise ships and have more infrastructure regarding that. Of course, it's a really big port for commerce. A lot of container ships coming in there. So yeah, no, I think it's all coming back. But is it on exchange, or you just have to go to like cityofmiami.org or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah, we'll have to find out.
I don't remember. I read it somewhere, and I don't remember where.
If you have the answer at home, go ahead and put it in the comments.
Yes.
We'd like to hear the
Because I would like to see how you get this coin. They already raised $1 million.
Yeah.
So is it like 1-to-1, like 1 USD to 1 Miami coin? I mean, is there a cap? I mean, now we have all these questions.
Now we have all these questions.
Who could answer? Help us out.
I don't know.
Well, back to the infrastructure
Yes,
bill.
let's go back.
So, crypto, the language that was holding up the crypto bill, the crypto community came together and were lobbying to have this language of defining a broker changed. And they needed 100% consensus, I guess, for how the Senate is set up at the moment. And there was one person who stifled it, who voted against it. So that was Senator Chelsea from Alabama. Senator Chelsea from Alabama. And so he was a little upset because he didn't get his money that he wanted for his military bill. So he decided to vote against it. Although he did publicly go onto Twitter and after the fact and state that he is for the crypto bill and for changing the legislation. He voted against it because he didn't get the money that he wanted for his military funding. So that's just.
And we got to fund the military, guys.
Yeah. Well,
and
they're going to decimate
that. That's actually one role of the federal government is defense.
That's.
Yeah. I mean, that's a primary role.
That's
all there is to it.
So
that's how small government should be.
I believe he's like 78 years old or 87 years old. He's old. He's about to retire, and he's got one foot out of the door. So he had to hold this up because he wanted to have a temper tantrum, basically. So it just goes to show, we're all people, but the choices that one person makes can affect such.
And it was Bernie Sanders who said no. And you know how Bernie's all for the military. Cuban military.
Right.
Or the Russian military.
Venezuela,
but not the U.S. military. There's another guy never had a job in his life. He was unemployed till he was 50 years old. Then he became a senator.
Must be nice. I mean, I don't know what to say, but
pension, nice.
Yeah, Vermont, they got some special voters up there.
He's got three homes now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I think one was gifted for bowing out of the
from the
2016 campaign, right?
You mean from the Hillary Foundation, donated from the Haiti fund.
Okay. All right. Well, regardless of the outcome, the original language did get pushed through to the House. So now we still have time to change the language in the House. And when we come back from this break, we'll be talking about Ethereum and what has Ethereum in the green. Cryptocurrency can be confusing and hard. At Space Coast Crypto Consulting, we make cryptocurrency easy for you to learn and understand. In a world of uncertainty and out-of-control central banks, it's our mission to empower you with the knowledge that you need to confidently control and grow your own crypto portfolio. Call now to begin your crypto journey. 321-412-4021. That's Space Coast Crypto Consulting at 321-412-4021. And welcome back from that quick break. Thanks for returning back with us. So I'm just going to get right into it. Ethereum had some pretty big upgrades that we've been long awaiting. So one of those include the Ethereum Improvement Proposal, the EIP 1559. So this includes a few things like burning tokens and also curbing block sizes to an ideal target. So burning tokens is a way that will create a deflationary aspect because
right.
Yes.
Now, the Ether, Was that considered? Was that the London fork? Is that what they're
Yes.
calling the London fork?
The London fork.
See, I saw the headline London fork, and I just thought it was a New English dish, but then I realized the English don't cook very well. So
Yeah, and there is this website.
fish and chips, maybe.
Yeah.
It's called Watch the Burn. And so watchtheburn.com, you can go to the site, check it out. You can actually see the amount of Ethereum that is being burnt. So they're
how
basically burning transaction fees, and this is going to reduce the amount of Ethereum they're burning a portion of the transaction fees. So this reduces the amount of Ethereum that's in circulation. So essentially it makes it deflationary. But the prices of Ethereum have just been raging this week. So there are a lot of people that say that, Ether will be flipping Bitcoin at some point. And in some ways, as far as its gains, it has been.
Flipping Bitcoin.
Flipping.
That's a new one.
That would be an interesting.
Burning, flipping.
Burning, flipping.
All so many new terms.
Is that a term? Flipping?
Well, flipping meaning like outperforming Bitcoin.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those watching at home, I hope you're taking notes as well.
Yeah, so
outperforming.
it's a good asset to have as far as its smart contract capabilities. I mean, pretty much a majority of all of the altcoins, run on the Ethereum network. Now it is also, so it's a great asset to have in your portfolio.
Right.
Yep.
Also, there are a lot of other cryptos out there that claim to be like the Ethereum killer. So you have things like Cardano, Solana. That also
Number 3.
Yeah.
Number 3 and 4 moving up the charts. As they
Yes.
say in the record business, moving up the charts.
So basically trying to take what Ethereum did and make it better as far as their smart contract capability. And in a lot of cases, Ethereum it's so expensive to transact. I mean, anybody who has ran smart contracts or transactions on the Ethereum network, I mean, those fees can be $80 just to send less than that. So there are so many ways that it could be made more efficient that other companies are trying to do. So it'll be interesting to see who the winners and the losers are, because having that first mover advantage of being Ethereum and having the history and the track record, and because everything is open source, anybody can come in and take your technology and then just make it better, more efficient, faster, cheaper.
And I
easier.
mean, and that's what capitalistic enterprise, free enterprise. That's what makes it so great. It's always responding. It's always getting better. It's not stagnant. It's not left in bureaucracy. It's not left by just a few again who know nothing about the service and the functionality of it to dictate how it's supposed to work. So instead of the same thing with any kind of public transaction. When the government says, well, you get to build our rifles, you get to build our tanks. They're picking winners and losers and all these defense contractors.
Yes.
Whereas, well, why don't you just let the military buy from the contractors, and then everybody compete, and and there's some bidding, and again there is some bidding like that. But when you're able to when other dictators and other not so free enterprise governments when they pick winners and losers, it's usually their government contractors, those owned by the government. They get all the thing, no matter if it's an inferior design or not. No matter if there's another private guy who made a better option for a missile or whatever else. And I'm just using defense, because we were talking about it. And that's really one of the biggest spending of any government is defense. So when you're able to say, I don't care if you make a better bullet or a better rifle or a better tank, we're going to use my brother's or we're going to use my favorite preferred vendor and overlook all the other competitors, and that's not really free enterprise. That's what's dangerous.
Let's let the free market decide.
Yeah.
And that was the other in that infrastructure bill. I know I hate calling it an infrastructure bill when it's not. Was the government was going to determine the technology as well. So there was some technology. Did you read that too, Jennifer? In that, if you read into it, they wanted to be able to pick just exactly like you said.
Right.
Pick like 3 or 4 of these, probably Cardano, to choose them as the platforms versus and eliminate everybody else. Where right now, as you can see, all the coins that are coming in and who's developing, it makes a difference. Again, that's the capitalism, and they want to. If with this bill, they want to kick these people back.
They want
out.
to figure out how they can centralize what's something that's supposed to be decentralized. So they want to have control over it.
Of course, they want it to mimic the banks.
And this is,
so it just kind of goes against the whole fabric of what it's
the
all
whole idea
about.
is. Yeah,
right.
But every other coin other than Bitcoin has some form of centralization and control.
And let's not forget, Gaddafi was killed because he was on the gold standard. He wouldn't have a central bank owned by all the, the big central bank, he wanted a gold-backed standard, and we can't have that, with the cabal, that rules all of our money. They just can't have anybody on the gold standard, and that's why there is, and that's again picking winners and losers. Which country gets to have their own rulers, and which ones are going to be collapsed and built up again with a central bank in place. It's been happening for years and years and years, and it's just unfortunate that these same cabal, these same big players, and I'm not going to mention family names, but I think you all know who I'm talking about. And they of course they don't want to lose control, guys. They want that fiat, and they want and they want you to still have to need them. They still want you to get your Cardano, Ether, Bitcoin from their banks, from the Wells Fargos and Bank of Americas and the Chase Manhattan, the Morgan Chase. These are big players. They've never wanted to relinquish control. They don't want anything competitively because it's worked for 150, 200 years since we've been off the gold standard in 1913 or whenever that happened. We've been playing this game with fiat currency and manipulating markets and manipulating the dollar and overprinting and collapsing currency because they have all the power, because it's not a gold backed, it's not a silver backed, it's not backed by anything. It's just fluff. And that's why it gets so exhausting to talk about some of these people who it's all about control, and these people are scared shitless because they have no idea when they don't have control what it's going to look like, because they've been in power so long. They've been able to influence global regime changes. They've been able to influence again, winners and losers. Which country is going to get the oil contract, which one's going to be able to get the manufacturing business. Without that control, these families are irrelevant.
And if you think about it, the younger generation, I'm on the older side of where now I do online banking. I have an online bank, but the younger generation, I don't think they know how to walk into a bank, right? So with the DeFi, and they're doing everything with Bitcoin now, and buying and trading themselves, and don't have to go to a traditional brokerage firm. So now they're investing, but they're investing in their own money. They're becoming their own little capitalist. They're the ones that are. It's the next generation that's going to not overthrow the system, but throw a big curve into how banking is done.
Yeah,
and we're starting to
especially when we start to take that USD and put it into a wallet. So instead of having a checking account, now you just have a wallet, and it's on your phone, and you can control it. You can see everything. And all these big banks and all these institutions, they don't have any power.
Whoa! Where's my piece?
They're trying to pump the brakes. They're trying to make it mimic the existing infrastructure. The existing how things have worked, because it's made them powerful beyond all belief. Powerful beyond all belief.
I think
they own our congressmen.
Younger generation, they're more aware than.
Well, we hope, and I hope they're watching, and I really hope to Jesse, Joey, tell us more. Jennifer, we love what you're saying. Even if some things go a little bit off the rail, and why we bring some of these things up, which again may not be popular opinion, is because we really want you to think. We really want you to dive into who has been controlling the money supply for so long, and why are there such poor nations? Why do people still suffer in the richest country in the world? Here in America. Why are there kids that are homeless and on the street? It's because there's people who have all the money, and there's people who don't. And why don't they? It's because they can't keep it. Why can't they keep it? Because you have assholes up in D.C. passing trillion-dollar bills of fluff, which it eliminates freedom. It taxes you beyond belief to travel, to do anything else, and it limits your freedom. It takes away your liberties, and at the end of the day, you're paying 40-50% of your income. And someone who's only able to make a minimum wage full time, right? You can't work overtime. Nobody lets you. So you're $40 at $15 an hour. You're paying 40%. Your take home is less than $500 a week. That's $2,000 a month. And as housing continues to increase and becomes more and more unaffordable, you're finding more and more homeless. Why? Because
they want it that way.
Because they want to create a slave state. They want you to be dependent on the government. With you controlling your money and taking out of the banks where they have all the power and they can manipulate it to just gross amounts. And we've discussed this, as well. Guess what, guys? Take the power back. This is a chance for all of us to become more independent, more financially responsible.
Take the power back.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you start looking like today, just before the show, Jennifer was helping me do some staking, and I got 3%, well 2%. Total was 3%, but I looked at the numbers. So for short term, it's 2%. You can't get 2% at the bank anymore.
You can't get 0.02%.
I know. And years
we had
ago,
CDs, we had money market accounts.
Yep.
None of that.
You don't even get a toaster. Years ago, you used to be able to open up a bank account. You guys remember that?
I remember there was some incentives. Yeah.
Yeah, you used
Listen,
to have incentives.
I can show you
Forks,
guys.
banks, plates.
I can show you guys how to make up to 36% yield on your investment annually without the volatility of crypto. So staking through a stable coin. So that is one of the services with Space Coast Crypto Consulting that I offer is, the different platforms and the different opportunities that are available out there, how you can earn money without the risk of volatility, because the banks right now are not providing it. I mean, and that was the incentive to entrust our banks with our money, is we get some sort of reward out of this. But built into the monetary policy is deflation, or is inflation, where by design, regular people, the middle class and under people who feel it the most, are losing a percentage of the value of their money.
That's done.
Yeah.
And
by
that's
design,
by
design, on purpose.
And let me just elaborate on that for some people who feel like we need a $15 an hour minimum wage. That's pushed by the same people who would love to see that inflation. So you're not really making 15. It's still going to be 10 because it's going to cost double for that bread. It's going to cost double for that gallon of gas. It's going to cost double for everything you buy because there's another tax built on it. So you think you're making money, but it's not. It's just a design for you to think you're making money, and to give that same party votes who want to then devalue that same money that you're earning. So you're still making $10 hypothetically because it's not worth the full dollar. It's worth 75%, and every time they print more, it becomes 75 cents. It becomes 70 cents, and your dollar shrinks and shrinks and shrinks.
We have
you're
now
not
lost
making
95% of the dollar's purchasing power.
Right.
95%.
So you guys fight about 15%. That's the wrong.
We've lost 95% of.
So that's the wrong battle. $15 minimum wage is the wrong battle. What you need to do, if you really care about your dollar, is to fight DC and tell them to stop passing ridiculous bills with all this fluff. Because at the end of the day, they're taking your money, people.
But
they're
Jesse,
taking your money. They're overprinting money.
Jesse,
fight that battle.
People want that because that other group, it's all because they care. You're being heartless now, Jesse.
Yeah.
Come on, where's your compassion?
I love people so much, and I love this country so much. I'm willing to speak truth. I don't care if it's unpopular.
I agree. I think it's a bunch of bullshit myself.
But yeah, I may come across as callous.
No, but you're being honest.
But I'm no better than anybody else making $15 an hour. I could disclose my tax. I'm making $35-$40 a year.
Did you see
after taxes? I may yield 23.
Oh, got a raise.
Yeah.
Did you see though the people that were making $15 an hour in Seattle? The waiters they raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Yeah.
So restaurants that normally would come in, do an hour prep. Nope. If the restaurant opens at 12, they're there at 12. And a lot of them are asking now to have their hours cut because what happens is it cuts into their own benefits that they were getting from the government. So they were losing money. So
Right.
Sorry, you make too much to
'Cause-
get your.
'cause
that's what happens.
Your
You're-
check
so,
now.
so
When you're rewarded to not work, that's not what you want, people. Stop taking money for doing nothing. It's so.
it's like crack.
Show me.
No, I mean, but you're worth more.
Right.
You are worth more at home.
I can't tell you how many people, how my own customers say, Joey, we can't find anybody that wants to work. And then when they do want to work, they show up for a day. Yet they can have a nice career making, by the time they're said and done, it's 15 plus an hour. They're working their butts off, but it's hard day's work. But at the end, they've wound up with a skill.
Speaking of Mike.
They get a
There you go.
skill.
Right.
Sorry about that. They get a skill. I'm having regular conversation.
I know, right?
They have a skill.
Yeah.
They develop, self-worth.
Right.
They put money back into the economy, and God forbid we put money back in the economy like we were doing. God forbid we do that and show prosperity. Again, we have these insecure politicians that it's all about the power, and that's the problem. And that was exposed in the past of
2020 showed everybody who the real dictators are.
Absolutely.
Everybody showed their colors, and there were states who said no, you could keep your freedom, and then there was the closet dictators who like, wait, I get to lock everybody down, shut down businesses, keep them away from school, keep them in their home, and then fine them and mandate all these things, and if they disobey, I get to press charges, and then thankfully it didn't come that close. But now they are talking about getting that close. They do want to come door to door. They do want to do those things that dictators do.
Yeah.
And they want to label you. They want to put the armband back on. I mean, we're right back there in the ghettos in Poland, where you have this segregated minority and you have this other minority, and we're going to take this one, put it in a ghetto, and they're going to be all by themselves. And this is what it looks like, guys.
If you read anything about the Nazi Party and dictatorships, everything of Marxism, it's Marxism at its best. And I guess I want to get that book by Mark Levin.
Right.
But everything that they did pre-World War II in Germany, they're doing here.
Right.
And people know your history, and that's the problem. They're not even teaching anybody any history. So everything
They're
is
changing history.
So they're dividing and conquer. They're making the kids hate their parents. They're making people hate American history. This is the greatest country in the world. If you don't like it, planes leave every hour. Get on it. Go somewhere else. Go protest in the street. Get your ass kicked.
Right.
If that was so bad, then the people in Cuba that are protesting are wrapping themselves in American flags. In Hong Kong, it was so bad they were protesting and chanting USA. Tell me
American
how bad that
flags.
is with
Yeah.
American flags. Meanwhile, we have these piss-ass mommy loafing, living in their mommy's basements with their black socks and their shower shoes and black shorts all the way down to their knees, protesting over something because they were offended. Get a grip. I want them to watch 17 hours of All in the Family, watch Sanford and Son, listen to Red Fox was a comedian. They'll be curled up in a blanket, and these kids need to get their ass kicked, whether from their mother, their father, or you and I, in order to wake these people up.
Joey, it's not their fault. They've been conditioned.
Well, that's just
to be
it.
spineless.
Well, that's
to
just
be
it.
ultra sensitive.
Well, then their mother's got to get their ass kicked.
Well, can I finish?
Yeah.
It's because you can't have a military with a bunch of spineless, sensitive, overly offended population. So hold on. You have all because I'm going somewhere with this. You have all these now getting into like young adults, 16, 17, 18, military age. And all they want is to be taken care of. They want to be ultra offended by everything. They're fed all these identity politics. They got to come up with fancy pronouns to feel special and feel like they have an identity. Here's your identity. Okay, join the military. But here's the thing. They want all of these kids weak, so that we're much easier to invade. We've never been invaded, but I promise you, the people in power would love nothing more but China to come in, Russia to come in and take. And just turn us into a communist country, and there's going to be nobody to fight. There's going to be nobody to stand up, because guess what? They're just going to promise you. They're like, hey, China's coming into our ports. They're going to take care of things. We did defunded the police. We have all these UN blue helmets coming in, and they're going to take care of. They're going to restore order. Okay. By the way, you have to check in and get tested and get the inoculation and all these other things that they're going to try to get you to succumb to. And you're going to say, okay, because they're also going to say, oh, by the way, they respect your pronouns or whatever else. Or at least the mean police aren't out there anymore. It's just the blue helmets. So just listen to them. They have your best interest. No, people. No. This is the wrong course of where we want to go to. So truly, read some books.
Wake up.
Just study World War II.
Wake up.
Study some history, not from modern books or even like a professor. Like, look at encyclopedias. Look at things that are written 30, 40 years of like actual, look at video of World War II vets and survivors of Auschwitz and other concentration camps. Please do your due diligence, because they're making you to be a spineless, whiny, subservient little slug with no spine, no backbone, no even principles. They're having you argue about critical race theory and systemic racism and again, it's a divide and conquer. We've seen it 100 times again. Mao and Stalin, all these big mass murderers throughout history. Hitler, that's what they did. This is the game plan, guys, to build a defenseless society who, again, is cared about more about your identity, your sexual orientation, your pronouns, all these things. It's nonsense. It's made up, and you have no business paying attention to it. Really,
I don't know how I would do in a corporate setting. I'm so glad that I work for myself, because otherwise I'd be fired every day for just.
That's what I mean. Again, and some people are like, Jesse, that's old rhetoric. You're just an old guy.
No, it does have a lot to do with identity and how you think of yourself. And you're not your name. You're not
look at
your
the Olympics this
your
year.
job. You're not your
sexual orientation.
You're not your
you're
sexual
an American.
Orientation.
Please build a spine.
A human being.
Yeah.
Being.
Grow a pair.
Well, without being callous, I'm really trying to be gentle, because
No,
we're going to break a lot of hearts. We're going to have a lot
All
of
right,
minds.
Speaking of
getting
heartbreaking, largest.
Thank you for segueing, Jennifer.
Largest crypto hack in history to date.
I know.
To date, $600 million of crypto was hacked on Tuesday.
Yeah, I saw that.
So cross-chain DeFi site Poly Network was hacked.
Wow.
And the DeFi platform Poly Network was attacked, and the hacker drained roughly $600 million in crypto from Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, and Polygon blockchain. So 3 cross-chains. They were able to send funds to 3 different wallets.
I'm going to raise my hand.
Oh, go ahead.
I have 2 questions. So is it safe to buy crypto knowing that a triple platform cross thing was manipulated and hacked? Or should we celebrate this because it builds up our defenses? Like what's how should we take this? Celebration, or should we just pull our crypto out?
Well, it's kind of funny to see what's happening now, because since the hack, all of these people have reached out to the hacker because everything is open source on the Ethereum network. You could see the wallets that the funds were sent to. So people have been sending this person transactions with messages in them saying, "Hey, send me money, send me."
They recouped some of the money, I had heard too.
The hacker has sent funds to these people, and so the Poly Network has nicely asked the hacker to return the funds and asked other people to blacklist those wallets. And so yes, they did. He did send some of the money back, and it is in progress of sending money back. So it's almost like
white hat,
like a white hat.
Like
yeah.
You just wanted to compromise it just to show some weaknesses and vulnerabilities.
Yeah, and I mean,
now he's reinvesting it.
Robin Hood, regular Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was kind of just like, all of my fans now are messaging me, like asking me for donations, and
do you have his number?
Yes, I'm gonna send him a message.
I'll take $1 million Cardano if you have some to spare.
So I mean, it just goes to show how much of an infancy stage that this whole DeFi space is really in.
It's the wild, wild west, folks.
That's what's fun about it.
That's what it is exciting, because nobody went to California in 1849. Read your history book.
Yeah.
Right.
In the comments, tell me what that means. Nobody went to San Francisco in 1849 to find, work and took that risk of going from like a New York or Atlanta or some other, Eastern colony, and went all the way across treacherous, native, infested, country, across the Mississippi, across the Rockies, and all the way to the West Coast for a small risk or and a great reward. Mm-hmm. So of course it was a high risk, and maybe you found gold, maybe you didn't, but everybody took that. I mean, so being a pioneer it's filled with, there's perilous adventure, right? Yeah. But there's also a chance for you to find a big golden nugget and build, a big city like San Francisco. Yeah. That's how that worked. And for those who don't know about, pioneering, I mean, that's how most anything has happened. Magellan, circumventing the world, and of course the Spanish explorers coming over here to the Indies and finding Florida, and big reward. What's across that big ocean? Right. And what do we do there? Are there going to be the inhabitants they going to be friendly? Are they going to be able to speak Spanish? Or what are we going to find? I mean, a lot of questions, and that's the adventure. I mean, we're going to space now. We're sending private people up into space. It's the adventure. Again, are there going to be some questions? Are there going to be some things that we have to learn along the way? Of course, it's not going to be perfect every time. There's going to be some launches. We're going to, not for nothing, but hopefully it doesn't happen. We're trying to make it a safe thing, but yeah, are we going to lose astronauts? I mean, who knows? Hopefully, just a very small margin, but people take that risk. Not every covered wagon that went in that caravan made it to the West Coast.
I saw Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, exactly. So
high risk, high reward. You got to risk it for the biscuit.
And you got to be in it to win it.
In it to win it.
So those are a couple lessons. It's a wild, wild west out there. Yep. Take it for what it is. Again, we're not telling you to spend your mortgage or your rent payment on crypto, but if but again, be in it to win it. Spend a little bit here, spend a little bit there, play around, and have fun with it, and just know that. Hopefully there's a lot more white hat hackers out there than there are, malicious hackers out there.
Right. When you read a lot of the things I've been reading a lot, and when you get into these forums, and everybody says, well, how much should I invest? What should I put in? The guy says, everybody responds the same thing. Invest what you can. Mm-hmm. One guy said, I'm trying to remember which coin it was. Every day, he, instead of spending his lunch money, he was buying, lunch was $10 a day. He was just buying coin $10 a day, $10 a day, cost averaging. And now he has, I don't know, 1 million or something tokens, and he took his lunch money. That's an investment, but it took money that he could afford, and that's just it. Like Jesse said, don't go throwing your mortgage money. We're taking out a second mortgage, although if you would have done that and bought Bitcoin at 28, now it's at 46.
You guys told me not to risk everything. I could have bought Bitcoin at 30.
Yeah.
Well, you could have.
Again, this show is just for fun. We're not here. We're not financial analysts by no means.
Or crypto analysts. I mean, Jeniffer is the closest thing we got.
Yeah.
As far as someone who has like some kind of authority, but it's such a evolving industry of an evolving space.
We're on the ground floor.
It's moving so quickly. There's changes and innovation every day. So it is nice to have an insight to see how to develop a diversified crypto portfolio, to know which projects are backed, and to have a complete exposure to all different assets in cryptocurrency.
And there's so much out there now. I mean, you could go on any site and read and get your own information and make your own choices.
But going back to
America,
your $5 a day,
right?
Instead of your Starbucks allowance, because I mean, let's be honest, a latte is $5 times 30 days. I mean, if you're having a latte every morning, that's $150 a month.
Yeah,
just make your coffee, guys.
That could easily.
Yeah, think what you can buy for $150. You know what Shiba you could buy with $150?
How much?
I bet you know.
Well, at 8 cents, it's that's
about carry the one and a decimal over and over again.
Jethro Gazintes. But you're buying a few million, that's for sure. You're over 10 million.
And whatever it is, if it becomes something that's great. Yeah. Imagine all the Starbucks You could buy, when you sell as it matures,
Buy the whole
in
line.
5 years.
Buy the whole line. It's on
right.
me. I'm paying forward.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Easy come, easy go.
It is important to pay it forward.
Yeah.
But you just have to watch what you're buying. That's all.
So whether it's $1.50 a day or your lunch, $10 a day, whatever you can afford, have fun with it, and just remember, there's still a lot of risk out there.
Right.
And I really hope there's a lot more white hats out there, like I mentioned. But yeah, DeFi, I didn't think that was going to be something that was vulnerable, but I guess it was
a bug within the multi-chain. So somewhere there was a leak, and there are actually these coders that their job is to just try to hack these codes.
Yeah, there's cybersecurity professionals out there who, again,
so maybe the
they're trying to be
government
proactive.
will find this guy and hire him to work for them.
Well, they've been doing a pretty good job hacking us. So
that's how most things have worked. Catch Me If You Can with
I was just going
Leonardo.
to say that movie.
The guy, he graduated, and the FBI, gave him a job because he was the master check forger at the time. He could. He was living off of fake, fraudulent checks. Of course, checks, for your kids, ask a grandparent or a parent. You may not have seen one in your life or written one out, but they were a thing. And so he was able to manipulate it, and again, dressing up as a pilot was very helpful.
He was a
because
doctor.
because he would come in with authority, and he owned it. He had the confidence, and you hand a check, even if it looks suspicious, but you're dressed like you belong there, and that's $1,000. I earned that. Most people are going to question it, and so I think of course, fraud happens on many different levels. Anyway, getting back to the cybersecurity, there's a lot of people being recruited just to be those proactive, hackers, those anti-hackers. It's almost like an anti-sniper, where you're the sniper that looks for other snipers, and to do that, you have to think, okay, where would I be as a sniper? How would I position myself? What's the best light? You don't want sun coming at you, so you want to be with the sun behind you. So now you got and then of course you got to think
cover. Like a criminal.
You got to think like a criminal. Yeah. And that's a perfect analogy. Although I like my sniper analogy.
I like that.
Because there's such a thing as an anti-sniper, and you're looking for those weaknesses, those vulnerabilities, like where could you be? Where would I be? And kind of thing. And I've always appreciated that, because I feel like if I was gonna have a role, I would want to also kind of think like the criminal and figure out where their next move is going to be, and it's just a game of chess. You're just
so you want to be a hacker, sniper.
Yeah, if there's such a thing as both of them, yeah,
sniper hacker,
a sniper hacker, yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, hopefully next week we'll have an update on if they were able to fully recover the funds. And thanks for tuning in to this week's show. It was a lot of fun. Please share us where you watch us. Give us a like and a subscribe. You can find us on the Crypto Wave podcast on Facebook and on YouTube. And for more information on how you can buy, sell, and store your digital assets safely, you can find me at spacecoastcryptoconsulting.com.
That's right.
That's good.
And I'm also going to put a link for Coin Empire. It's a brand new. It's a cold wallet that you store, and it goes on a coin. So it's a very cool, functional coin that you could use as your cold wallet, and it's a lot of fun. And again, if there's anything that Joey or I said today that you want to contest or put a reference in the link to help us with our arguments, we'd love to see all your engagement in the comments below as well.
Bring it on.
Absolutely.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
We need haters. Come on. I mean, I know we talk out of of our ass a lot of times, but it's because
somebody's got to say it.
Somebody's got to say it sometimes, and not for nothing. There's always a little smidgen of truth in things that come up. So no matter how far fetched it seems, like we're not talking out of absolute hysteria or from a
conspiracy.
I guess so, from an unknowledgeable
It's history. It's history.
Yeah.
I mean, what I was taught in school versus it's just a whole different world.
So give us your comments. I'd love to see the engagement after what we talked about today. Say
All
goodbye.
right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody. Have a good week.